they will graduate and still come see me. Now that really brings tears to my eyes, They have their little life and come see Auntie Nikki. That means I did my job totally.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Nicole. I'm so thrilled to be here today. When we walked into this building, people may not believe it, but that was my first time walking into any Rutgers dining facility. You gave me a tour of about, well, probably a little tiny bit. It's a big building.
Yeah.
So this is, an interview where I'm meeting people at Rutgers and learning their stories.
Nice.
But part of your story now is you are introducing the president to spaces.
And I'm so honored.
Well, I'm appreciative. So thank you so
you.
much. Mutual Admiration Society. We'll
Yes.
start from that place. So tell me, how long have you been working in this site?
I've been working in this site for 31 years.
So I've been in higher ed for 30 years also, actually. And one thing I love about it is I'm around young people always.
Yes.
Now, it does get a little bit harder as we get a little older and they seem to get younger somehow. But it's exciting to be around that kind of energy and that passion.
As I get older, they make me feel younger,
I totally understand it. Working in this space for all
Correct.
these years, and you've seen all kinds of changes, but students are still going to be 19 and 20 and 21 years old. Has your relationship to the students changed?
I can say as I got older, I call myself their auntie,
Okay.
because I was the same age. So
Yes.
as I got older, it's like Auntie Nikki, So to give them advice, I can see the ones that coming in having a bad day or failed the exam or had a little disagreement with mom. I'm the one that they come to be lifted up.
This is important because I don't think people really understand that you have a line of sight into how students' days are going.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I remember when I was running a residential college someplace else. I remember in the dining hall, a student walking in who I thought was excited to see me. She was smiling, went right past me, and she it was okay. I mean, there was a moment of like, hey, what's going on here? But she wanted to see Dawn, and Dawn worked in the servery, and she just said, Dawn, I passed the test.
You see that?
And so I watched this interaction, and he's like, oh, I knew you would. And that interaction between someone working in service and the student, they had a whole relationship. And it was like a mentoring, like big brother, little sister. It was a thing of beauty.
Yes.
So I hadn't thought of that memory in
See how you remember
10, 12
that?
years. Yeah.
See how you remember that?
Yeah.
And that's what makes me so happy because they will graduate and still come see me. Now that really brings tears to my eyes. You have your little life.
I got goosebumps when you
Oh
said
my
that.
goodness, they have their little life and come see Auntie Nikki. That means I did my job totally. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
I love that, And I still love it to the day. It's not like work. It's fun, to me.
Help me understand.
Okay.
Help the viewer understand
Okay.
what it's like to be in these spaces.
Of course, when they first come in, I'd say like dinner time, 4 o'clock. It might be a little crowded, but around 6 o'clock, that's when the world comes. Like, it's like a hangout to them,
Sure.
So they do their studying or listen to their music, might even hook up, But the whole thing is, it's all about respect, I respect them, they respect us, and I don't know, I can point out the ones that's not having that good day, or just some inspiration, some motivation just to get through the day,
Yeah.
really made my day,
Right.
So
You're making a difference.
of
Making
course,
a big difference.
of
Yeah.
course,
I remember very well, again, going back to when I was in charge of residential college, I would rely on the people who were in the dining hall. They would come to me saying, Jonathan, Susie, make up a name,
Correct.
is having a tough time. You need to keep an eye
We
on
can
her.
see that.
That's right. And I wouldn't be around enough to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know without exaggeration, in that experience, some people were really helping students get back on track.
Correct.
And,
Correct.
that role is not, it's not part of your job description.
No, it's not.
But it's part of your humanity.
But it makes their day.
Yes.
And it might even help them with a test or a better relationship with mom or whatever.
Right.
Just that one little interaction.
Yeah.
I didn't realize can make such a big outgoing. So it's a really true blessing to be here for 30-something years. To watch this, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm around 10 more years. I'm not going nowhere.
And we will be sure to recognize that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I remember Senator Cory Booker. I went to college with him,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been great to reconnect
Okay.
since I moved here. He gave a commencement address one time. He told a story about, I won't remember the details, but the end of the story was when he was in Newark, and that there was an individual full of promise, but just wasn't connecting, just was, not in a, he was having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And it came down in a moment of crisis, and the story revolved around Cory seeing him. Not like, of course we see each other,
Correct.
but it's like, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was a story about acknowledging humanity.
Yes.
Like, this is not Joe, the person who keeps getting in trouble.
Correct.
This is Joe, a human being in front of me with all of his frailties, trying to make his way through the world.
See?
And I've never forgotten that story because it's just, to me, it's a fundamental, like I was raised, where everybody has worth.
Yes.
Everybody has something to teach us,
Okay.
but we got to be able to see them.
Yes. Yes.
And just in our short interaction, I can tell you see these students, and
I do.
they see you,
Yes.
which
And
is a beautiful
that's the
thing.
part that I get all emotional about because, they might see me across the room, hey, just like football. Hey, Auntie Nikki, and just that smile,
Yeah.
Or I might see them down, like, what's the matter today? Like, oh, Nikki, come on, eat your vegetables. I get on football all the time about that. Eat your vegetables.
You mentioned football a couple of times. Are you talking
Yes.
about some of the players, or
all of them, the coach, the players.
so they come here?
No, I eat them over at the stadium.
Oh,
at the
okay.
health center. Yeah.
Okay. See, this is what I need to learn. I don't.
See?
Yeah.
See, we used to feed them here, but now they are over at the stadium.
Okay.
But yeah.
And you're part of their experience. It
Yes.
sounds like.
Yes. I see them every morning, 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very early,
You have a lot of stories.
I have so many stories.
Is there a favorite story or two that?
I'll keep going on and on, and we don't have enough time for all that, but just the way the kids graduate and come back.
My mother was an elementary school teacher,
Okay.
and she taught for decades. And at the end of her career, some of her former students were beginning to have children. She was a kindergarten teacher whose kids were coming in.
See?
And hearing from that former student, young adult, young parent having children, these, I guess, alumni would come back and tell her about, you made a difference.
See?
And those, when my mother came home on those days,
See?
Her feet weren't touching the ground.
It do something, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that sounds familiar to you, I suspect.
My goodness, yes. Yes, the emotion's about to come out. Yeah. You
It's
do
okay.
feel it,
Yeah.
You feel it. Every little student you come in contact with, it's a good feeling.
I love
really
it.
is.
I love it. So you've seen some changes around here.
Yes, I have building, people, places, retirement, a lot of things change.
Yeah.
And it's only for the better,
You think so?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I really believe so. Whether it was the food option, definitely changed over the years, which got healthier for the kid.
Right.
And that's what I like also because they did it more vegetarian dishes.
Right,
And
right,
we have
right.
that now, so.
Well, I've heard about these grease trucks from way back in the
see
day.
that?
And I know that if I were 20, they would sound amazing.
Oh my goodness.
But at 53,
we can't eat like we can in
No.
the 20s no more.
No, we
can
can't.
look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
we can admire.
And
Yes.
have memories.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. help me understand you. Like, we've been talking about you as like Rutgers,
Mhm.
but you're more than Rutgers.
I am Rutgers. That's the only thing. I live
Oh,
for
come
Rutgers.
on.
Well,
You may live for Rutgers, which we
yeah.
appreciate, we love. It's clear you make a difference.
Yes.
But tell me a bit where you're coming
I
from.
was born in New York, raised in Piscataway, so
Okay.
I'm still
So
here.
you're close by,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Went to Piscataway High School, but now I live in New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Have a beautiful daughter that's right over here, and that's I don't have too much. I like to stay home, read books, have a
Well,
little shit too.
Yeah, it's you are. Life is full of things.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah,
Yes, it
many
is.
blessings.
I am so blessed.
That's a wonderful
Truly
thing.
to still be here too.
One of the things that's really important to me as president
Sure.
is, there's three things: excellent academics,
Correct.
trying to make Rutgers a little less complicated. It's a very
Yes.
complicated place.
Yes.
But also this idea of a beloved community, that everybody has something to contribute,
True.
and everybody matters, and
Everybody matters.
everybody matters.
Yes.
That's right. And one of the
Yes.
things I've talked about is that universities we think of as faculty, we think of
Correct.
as students. But if we don't have dining service workers,
Mm.
if we don't have groundskeepers,
Yes.
if we don't have administrative assistants,
Thank you.
everything falls apart.
Oh my God. Thank
So I wanted, it's not me so much a question, it's a story in a sense. I just want you to know that my understanding of the university includes you.
Thank you.
And includes, your community. I see it as our community.
Yes.
And this is, to me, this is, you clearly give of yourself. People are
Yes.
coming back to see you. They may not be coming back to see the professor.
Yeah.
They're coming back to see you. Well, that tells you something about the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. It really do. It's very emotional, number one, just to see them, even with their parents or their mate,
Mhm.
introduce me to their little life.
Mhm.
Mom, this is Nikki. Or they even wanted me to go, Nikki, come to Florida with me. No, baby, I can't go to Florida with you there. They just want to interact. I remember one time I was in Atlantic City,
Okay.
and one of the girls, this is Nikki, Mom. Nikki's in Atlanta. I was like, my God, I felt so special, She kept saying, the takeout lady, the takeout lady.
You're like, honey, I'm trying to be in Atlantic City right
I'm
now.
trying to do me. Nikki, I'm like, let me go over there and say hi, So it was just, acknowledging, being acknowledged like that
Yes.
from all the students,
Yeah.
it's very good.
So you said you had some questions for me. I'm
Yes,
very curious.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, this
I
will only
just
help
want
me in
very-
the future.
I want very easy ones.
Of course.
Okay.
Who do you look up for inspiration?
I'm 53. My parents are no longer around,
Okay, mine too.
but they're with me every day, like yours
Amen.
are.
Yes.
So my first thought is, well, some might hear that question and say they want to think of some great person from history, some towering figure. I get that,
Okay.
but my first response is, my parents are.
Okay.
Yeah. And really, when I think about the beloved community, the things that you and I have been talking about, that really is coming from both of my parents. My
Okay,
mother's a
see.
kindergarten teacher, so it's like,
Oh.
she was teaching kids to live by the golden rule
Mm.
and to recognize one another, and that's the way we were raised. And my father, he was the child of, growing up in Jim Crow, Washington, D.C., where
Okay.
a lot of the black workforce was invisible.
Yeah. Mhm.
And he made clear to us, my siblings and I, that no one's invisible.
Amen.
Everybody's doing something important. So you take those two sensibilities together.
Correct. And that's what.
That shapes who I am.
What are you most proud of regarding Rutgers University?
When I was considering whether or not to apply for the job,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that told me I needed to apply for the job was looking at who made Rutgers up. Like, I already knew about the faculty. That's the
Correct.
world I know best, the faculty. As I got to understand who the students were, where they were coming from, what their life experiences were, I thought, my goodness, the transformative potential of Rutgers as an institution
Correct.
is amazing. And given where we are in the nation at this time, the idea of coming to a place that's in the work of trying to make things better
Mm-hmm.
and of trying to make it better for people from a whole range of backgrounds,
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Mhm.
And I wanted to do a good thing.
There you go.
And so I am proud of the idea of Rutgers.
Mhm.
And I'm told that when the students get here and we're really back up and running, that
Mhm.
I'll be proud of Rutgers itself.
Yes, you
I
will.
think that's coming. Thanks for
Can
that
I
question.
give you a high five with that.
I'll take that.
There you go.
All
Y'all
right.
got that, right?
This has been an absolute delight.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
so much. You can see I really enjoyed this, right?
It's been my pleasure. And
Thank
and
you.
then I got to come back in here. I expect the same service
Oh.
that you give the students because I have a feeling that's special enough.
Oh, goodness, yes. I love my students.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.